Should we be allowed to wear a cross at work? 4 British Christians claiming to be discriminated against because of their faith have gone to the European Court of Human Rights, 2 of whom for wearing crosses. The others have got 2 other cases. The government has said effectively that the convention protects their rights. The finding is not yet known. Carole Stone.
Well, I think if Sikhs can wear turbans rather than hard helmets on a building site, and Muslims can wear veils if they want to, I don't see why a Christian can't wear a cross. I don't think you can use the argument just because it's not obligatory, because we are a more, if you like, easygoing religion, a more open religion. I myself am a Christian. I don't see why we should have to not be stopped to do that just because we don't have it obligatory. I think that these are very, very important things. I think we should be as open as we can, but I think to actually say you can't wear a cross because it might hurt someone when you cuddle them, whatever it was for that nurse, is absolutely ridiculous.
Peter Hennessy.
Yes, of course people should be allowed to wear crosses, and I'm also a Christian. What are we doing to ourselves as a country when we waste an ounce of nervous energy on questions like this? It is in no way offensive to express your deeper convictions through apparel or to speak about it in public. One of the great virtues of being a Brit, and we're sitting here in an Anglican church, which used to be the incarnation of tolerance. I do worry sometimes about what it's doing to itself now, because I love the Anglican Church, albeit from the outside. But the Anglican Church used to be the incarnation of tolerance, and we managed to get our breakthrough to religious tolerance far sooner than most other countries after shedding a lot of blood. And to get tangled up in questions like this now, actually, it beggars belief. There are so many things in the world to worry about that somebody wearing a cross, because it reflects their inner feelings, their deeper convictions, and that this should somehow be legislated against, I simply cannot understand.
What do you make, then, of the government? James Eadie, the QC, representing the government at the court, said these 4 linked cases, those 2 and the 2 others, at their core raise questions about the rights and the limits to the rights of employees to force their employers to alter employment conditions to accommodate the employees' religious practices.
Well, a sentence like that just demonstrates my point.
I had a suspicion that you may say that. Yes, Carole.
Can I just say quickly, I think the other 2 cases linked with this, there is more sense of an argument, because what they're saying then, that I think there were 2 Christians who would refuse, one of them refused to actually counsel people who were homosexuals and not married on their sort of sexual relationships.
This is a therapist.
That was the other case linked.
Yeah.
And I think in that case, I think that person should leave that job.
Roy Hattersley.
Well, I think you'll find unanimity in the panel. It is preposterous that somebody should be prevented from wearing a cross at work. It's an elementary civil right. I spent 33 years of my life defending the rights of Muslims and Sikhs to express their religious preferences in public, and exactly the same right should apply to all Christians. I'm not a Christian myself, I'm nothing. But as a matter of simple civil rights, it is an obligation of society to protect those who want to display their religious beliefs. There's no argument about it. It's simply, yes, it's an absurdity, and I don't know how anybody could have constructed the sentence you just read out. It seems to me to be absolutely... I know you didn't.
No, I certainly didn't.
But whoever did, there's something wrong with them.
He went on. I shall let you hear it.
Who was it?
I shall let you hear it. He's James Eadie, the QC, representing the government at the court. He went on. The convention, the Human Rights Convention, protects individuals' rights to manifest their religion outside their professional sphere. However, that does not mean that in the context of his or her employment, an individual can insist on being able to manifest their beliefs in any way they choose.
Thank God that man didn't write the Sermon on the Mount. That's all I can say.
Norman Tebbit has yet to have apoplexy, but he is going to speak.
Would we say to a teacher at a catering college who was Jewish or Muslim that you have got to teach kids how to cook pork? Would we really say that unless you're willing to do that, you're going to be sacked? I very much doubt it. So why do we pick on Christians? What is it that's happening in this country now? One religion which is constantly being kicked is the Christian religion. You know? Anybody else can claim any sort of privilege that they like on religious grounds, and anybody who says to the contrary is immediately thrown into a corner and sort of abused as a racist or intolerant or something like that. But you can say what you like about a Christian. You can even say to them, no, you can't come to work with a cross. What would you do with a Christian who's got a cross tattooed on his arm? Tell them they can't come to work? Come off it. You know, the man that wrote that uttered those words should be fired. And I must say that one of the very good reasons
what would you do with the government
for moving Ken Clarke from his post was that he was not prepared to deal with those issues. And I hope his successor, whether a lawyer or not, is.
But the government, this has only gone...
Yes, indeed.
But the government is defending...
Yes, indeed.
You think that the government is at fault?
Ken Clarke was prepared to allow his lawyers to say that sort of thing. And I very much hope that his successor will make it perfectly plain that that is not the policy of Her Majesty's government.
Yeah, I was going to say a point before this, that Norman is rather spoiling our enlightened unanimity by setting one religion against another. I think it's very important not to say that Christians have to have the rights that the Muslims have and the Muslims have got rights that Christians don't possess. In my atheist position, I'm simply in favour of all religions, whatever they may be, having the right to express themselves and not compete with each other as to who should do it best and who should do it most.